Hi guys! First of all, look at this cool new desk I got. It has this awesome background and I can sit in front of it and film, which is super duper awesome. I've kind of been thinking about making a video about this for a while since it's basically about my face. And I'm not talking about how my face looks, as in why my face looks this way, because I got outside and I am getting food or I'm at the store and people will walk up to me and they'll be like, "What are you?" And I'll be like, "Oh, here we go again." And that's because I am a mixed ethnicity, and specifically half Japanese and half white. I tend to get a lot of questions because I'm like a fucking ethnic unicorn or something apparently in America. I am half Japanese and I was born over in Japan, and my dad is like French and Irish, so I'm like a quarter French and a quarter Irish and then half Japanese. People think I'm Asian, some people think I'm white. I've even been asked once if I was Russian, and that was the weirdest thing ever, but it has happened. Sometimes it's really awkward, especially because I'm Japanese, because Japanophiles are a much more common thing. When I meet people like that, it gets really frustrating because you're like, I just want to go on with my day, but yeah, I thought I'd maybe kind of just make a video and talk about where I'm from and my experiences. My mom is Japanese and my dad is white, like I said, and they met in Japan because my dad was an English teacher over there, and I don't know what the fuck my mom was doing at that time, but I don't know, they met, and apparently even though they barely spoke, well, my mom barely spoke English and my dad barely spoke Japanese, they somehow got married, which is, you see where this is going, right? So then I happened, and then I ended up moving to the Americas when I was 3 years old, so basically I have not a lot of good memories of Japan, which is kind of unfortunate. And we went back once when I was in kindergarten. I went with my mom, but I really don't remember, so I'm really due for a Japan trip. One of the questions I get a lot actually is if I have dual citizenship, and I do. It's just very tricky though, because once I turn 21 I think I have to give it up and I have to figure it out. But it doesn't really affect my life though, because I live in America, and people always ask if I am going to keep it, and that answer is going to be no, because I don't, even though I would like to maybe spend a couple years in Japan, I don't really see myself living there forever. Just because of work, and I already know a lot about the culture and how people are over there. The next question I always get is, say something in Japanese, because obviously when you're Japanese you can speak Japanese, right? And the answer is not always you could speak Japanese. Some half Japanese people don't really know Japanese that well. I grew up speaking Japanese with my mom, so I know how to speak it pretty well. My formal Japanese is super bad, and I'm really bad at reading, and I don't think I'm gonna be working in the translation business at this point, but I'm probably gonna keep practicing. And since I don't really talk to my parents that much anymore, so my Japanese isn't that amazing because I don't practice it that often, so I'm probably gonna start taking classes again, and or finding people to practice with. I have actually used my language skill in interviewing guests at cons and things like that, so it's been really fun. So yeah, those are most of the questions I get. And then I always have really strange encounters all the time. One time I was at the store and this guy turns around and he asked me if I was a Harajuku Barbie doll, and I just cracked up and started rolling on the floor laughing, dying. Ha ha ha, what the fuck are you talking about? Sometimes weird people will ask if I'm Hapa, and I know that's a term that's used a lot, but I don't like it. And for people that don't know, Hapa just means half Asian, and it's mostly used towards half Japanese people, and especially down in Hawaii. So Hawaii has a pretty big Japanese. I don't know what's up with Japanese people being super obsessed with Hawaii, but they just are. And my dad's side of the family, one of his sisters actually married a Japanese guy too, so it was totally unrelated. But yeah, it's weird because they were from Hawaii. My dad grew up in Hawaii a lot. I don't really like that term that much. I find it really kind of, it's not like it's offensive, but I just like, you know, like if you're gonna meet someone that's half someone, like it's a lot more polite just not to use that term. And that's something to keep in mind. So like if you meet like a half Japanese or half Chinese, half Korean, like never ask if they're Hapa, just really like, you know, politely ask them what their ethnicity is, and we'll be happy to answer. It's just some people are really intrusive about it, and it is like kind of like a little pet peeve of ours, and we do kind of are like, oh my god, here we go again. And I always relate, there's this great sketch on YouTube about like what type of exotic Asian girl are you, and I just, oh my god, that entire sketch is like, oh, that's my life, I have to deal with this, like, and it's so funny, I love it. But yeah, it's very interesting being like a mixed ethnicity and people just being like fascinated with you sometimes. Sometimes people don't give a shit, which is great, I don't give a shit, but like people are like sometimes very fascinated, and it's definitely interesting. Another funny thing that always happens is I will like see groups of Japanese people like talking, and like I'll just like be like standing right next to them, and they'll have no idea that I understand what they're saying. And so half the time they might be like shit talking, especially if they're like old Japanese ladies, and I feel really awkward because I'm like, they think that they're safe and nobody knows what they're talking about, but here I am. It's really just interesting. I hope you guys enjoyed some of the experiences that I shared and get to know a little bit more about me. Let me know if you guys liked it, and if you guys want more like Japan related videos. I am in no means like a J-vlogger. I definitely kind of try and stay away from just anime and just Japanese stuff. I'd definitely like to do more, it'd be kind of fun, and if you ever want to see like some weird Japanese videos, I don't know like if any of my viewers are Japanese either, so you should let me know if you are in the comments, that'd be cool. And if you're half Asian, you should tell me some funny stories too, because I'd love to hear. Anyways, I will see you guys soon in a new video. Bye!